The reason why I believe that the footprints are a real thing is because Dave Rader talked about them, and several local sources have also talked about them. So in the first week of, could I get it up? This is a screenshot that was taken. So I was informed by deputies to make sure when I post anything, to make sure I explain it in full detail. So this wasn't the first post he'd made. So there's no way anybody could misinterpret it. Someone got confused over me calling a footprint physical evidence and blew their phone lines up thinking it was new evidence. So I'm being very precise here. 2 footprints, child size, barefoot, not my kids' prints, 1 on my land. So 1 set of footprints on my land, 1 on a neighbour's that does not want their name or location mentioned. So we've only got the approximate locations of these footprints, right? This neighbour, I know where he lives. I've got my little map that I've put markers in, pins in, but I've dropped them on the property markers, and then the scent alert marker that I've put near the creek, I've just dropped it down. I don't know where it was, that scent alert. I just know that it's been said that there is one, right? But I'm certainly not going to say this guy's name or his address because he doesn't want it, right? So, I do not want my location shown either. There we go. Search dogs barked on my land. Deputy asked me questions about my kids' shoe sizes. I asked if the dog's barking meant it was her scent. He said yes. Said it had to be a recent print left after she disappeared. Now, you've got to remember that those search dogs only went out. They didn't go out the night. They didn't find these on the night Summer disappeared, right? This was a few days later. And we know that from Dave Rader, which I'll come on to. Said it had to be a recent print. Informed him, my kids never go barefoot in the woods. Prints were about 3/4 of a mile or so apart. So the prints on his land and then on a neighbour's land, about 3/4 of a mile apart. The print was in my yard, was behind a ridge, so not where we would have seen anyone. So it was somebody walking along, right, that Summer dropped some prints, right, knowing where to walk. That's my interpretation. Next print was further up a ridge near another neighbour's house. Not sure which print was left first, so no clue direction she was going. So for me, right, that's one clue. This is in response to someone else. Yes, a barefoot child's footprints that the dogs identified her scent in my woods and a neighbour's woods. So no other scent or footprints were found, just my opinion with nothing else to base on. But that sounds like she was being carried and was set down to make it through a rough area. You would expect more prints if she was walking. Search crews have been all over my land for several days before the footprints were found. So there was already plenty of adult footprints. So they'd already been through. They'd already been through once before a dog alerted. So that's why they took, I'm going to show you my map. While we're here, why don't we do it? All right. So this is my map. These are just rough, right? I've just dropped these pins on the property markers, right? I've no idea whether the footprints were here or here or here, right? They're just examples, right? But it's in this vicinity, right? So this was the area in September, not September, December, beginning of December, when they came back, right, to search again, there was an aeroplane flying over and over and over this area. There's a little video of it that the TBI released, over and over and over this area, just to see if they'd missed anything from June. They concentrated on this area. Now, this scent alert here, right? I got this from I think it was Cracking Cases, but Fred Hill also said there was scent alert. I don't believe most of what Fred said, but anyway, I've put it in as a possible, right? A possible, and it doesn't mean it's here. That's just in that area, around the creek area, right? Down, I'm trying to represent further down Ben Hill Road than the creek that runs up here somewhere, right? And then I've got a pin for the dog trail, a pin for Jodie Sue's cabin if I want to talk about the scream. That's again rough. Just drop the pins in. So there you go. Right, so that gives you like a visual. And all of this is like, that's about 0.8 of a mile from 110 Ben Hill Road down here is about 0.8 of a mile. But obviously it could be up here, could be up here, could be a bit further, could be a bit less. And there is one higher up on a ridge. So probably this one, because this is a high ridge. I did a video where I went on Google Earth. It's called, I think it says On Summers Mountain or something in the thumbnail. So from a month ago, maybe between a month and 6 weeks ago. So look back. And I went on Google Earth and I looked at all like the elevations and how steep that ridge is there. You can't see it from this 2D view, but this is really steep. Like it goes up dead steep up here. So you'd struggle to believe if this really was on a ridge that this, excuse me, that a 5-year-old would struggle to get up there. However, you could go this way. So I think that's less steep. Anyway, I'm not arguing about how these footprints got there. I'm just saying that yes. And the other thing that I think that has actually convinced me that this is real is Dave Rader talked about it as well. You know, Dave Rader from EquiSearch. So not a neighbour, not somebody who may have heard something or maybe pranking, nothing like that. Dave Rader, right, from EquiSearch, talked about this on Police Off the Cuff. I've got a couple of minute clip in a video. It has Dave Rader in the title. So again, you can go to that video and find it. Again, from about a month ago, maybe. Or you can go to Police Off the Cuff's channel and find their videos of Dave Rader, where Dave Rader was being interviewed.
Well, that Saturday night that I got into town, which would have been 4 days prior after she went missing, is that somebody said that they found a footprint. Now, I don't know the truth about that, but they had TBI, FBI, they had some of the locals there late at night. I got into town about 11 o'clock, and they were still searching until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, from what I understand, because they went under the assumption is that, oh hell, maybe if she was abducted, they're seeing all of this go down. They dropped her back off near the woods, and that she was now walking the woods by herself. So then they set up this good perimeter around there and just kind of worked our way more towards the house to create that funnel effect. Okay. And we followed creeks. There wasn't a damn stone unturned.
He got into town on the Saturday night. So Summer went missing on the Tuesday. He got into town on the Saturday night. He started doing kind of searches on the Sunday, so less than a week, like 4 or 5 days. On that Saturday night when he got into town, all the search crews were out because that was when a footprint had been alerted on. So it was the Saturday that one of these prints was alerted on. And they scrambled, they threw everything at it, thinking Summer had been lost in the woods for like 4 days. And he said that he's heard from the search crews that this is what was happening on that night. And they searched through the night to try and find her because they thought she was lost in the woods. They thought this was going to be like, you know, a life and death, that she'd been there for 4 days and she was lost. But they didn't find her because she'd already gone, allegedly, probably. But the search crews were so adamant that they knew, they were so sure that that's what they did. They went through the night, according to Dave Rader. And I'm going to believe Dave Rader, right? Well, Dave Rader's not going to come online and lie, is he? Right? Very reputable search agency. So I believe Dave Rader. Now, he said something like, can't vouch for the truthfulness of this because, like, he wasn't actually there. This is what the search crews told him on the Sunday, that this is what they've been doing all night. But why would they lie? They ain't going to lie and tell Dave Rader they found a footprint when they didn't. That's stupid. They're going to do that, are they? So, yes, I do believe the footprints are real. I do believe they're real. I do believe that the search crews truly thought they were Summer's because they know their possibility that kids do get lost in the woods. They know how good their search dogs are. So Summer, I believe Summer was there. I believe Summer was there. And it's going to take a lot to convince me that she wasn't.